In this video, I'll uncover the best natural ways to lower your blood pressure without medication. There are an enormous amount of people out there suffering from high blood pressure. Most people go to their doctors, they find out they have high blood pressure, and then they're put on a medication for eternity, basically. So what I want to teach you in this video is how to actually lower your blood pressure without using medications. Because here's the deal, is there's a lot of natural things that you can do that most people are completely unaware of that will drastically lower your blood pressure. So stick around to the end. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our notification community, and I'm going to help you excel your health and your life. And at the end of this video, one of the things I'll do is tell you my personal experience with high blood pressure. Yes, I've had it myself, and of course some different patient stories as well. So let's go ahead and dive right into this topic here. Now, when we look at high blood pressure, there's a lot of people who face this issue, as I mentioned. It's estimated that 1 in 3 Americans are suffering from it, which equates to about 70 million people. Okay, this is a big problem for many, many people. Now, the problem is that you end up with this high blood pressure, and then, like I said, you get a medication, and nobody's ever talking about what you can do to naturally reverse this problem. And the other thing, too, is that when we look at high blood pressure, a lot of people have a misunderstanding of it because they think that blood pressure should be locked in at 120 over 80. It shouldn't be below, it shouldn't be high, it should just be 120 over 80, and that's perfect. The truth is, though that's kind of an ideal number, many people will have fluctuating blood pressure. Mine always remains higher than that. It always has. When I was a child, they used to test me for blood pressure and find out that, oh, he's got higher blood pressure. Never like into the point of them wanting me to go see a doctor and get medication, but they always noted that I had higher blood pressure, okay? Because the truth is that some people will come in a little bit higher, some people will be a little bit lower. There's no research out there that says that you need to be clamped in at a very specific number. What most of the research shows is that people will fluctuate a little bit, and that's okay as long as it's within a safe number. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the different things that you can do in order to lower your blood pressure. Like I said, a lot of people have this issue. How do we go about implementing the things that you can do naturally in your home in order to reverse this problem? Let's go ahead and start with some of the different dietary / things that you're eating, drinking, that kind of thing, okay? Now, first we want to talk about caffeine. Caffeine's a pretty big issue when it comes to blood pressure. What most people who have blood pressure instability will find is that consuming coffee, consuming some sort of energy drink will just put your blood pressure through the roof. A lot of times you'll have different symptoms of it. And when you have these different caffeinated beverages, then your symptoms start to arise, and next thing you know, you're having issues. Now, the thing that I find with caffeine is this, is that people who are very caffeine sensitive, as in you have the genetic SNP that you have a little bit of a harder time going and breaking down caffeine in the liver, these particular people have a bigger problem with it, as in they will drink caffeine and it'll just send their blood pressure into a frenzy, okay? Now, people who are able to process caffeine a little bit faster, they don't have as much of an issue. This blue line right here represents those who drink caffeine and they can process it quickly. Essentially, that caffeine will just die off in their system, as in like you'll utilize it, it'll be gone, it'll be metabolized. And then when you have those people who are those slower caffeine processors, that caffeine will just keep going in their system and metabolize very slowly. And 6 to 12 hours later, they can still have caffeine going and surging throughout their body. So we have to be careful. I happen to be one of those people who has that caffeine problem. So I always have to be careful when it comes to coffee or anything caffeinated. So we want to make sure that we restrict caffeine if we have high blood pressure. It's something that's very important to do. Next thing on our list is we have to decrease alcohol. I'm not going to speak too much on that, but basically, part of living a healthy lifestyle is not going and drinking a bunch of alcohol. So if you're someone who's consuming a lot of alcohol, start removing it from your lifestyle completely if you're someone who has high blood pressure and you're serious about getting it under control. Next is diet, okay? When it comes to diet, it's the same thing. I'm not going to dive too deep into diet because I do an enormous amount of content on that. And you know what? If you want to learn more, I'll put lots of information surrounding this topic in the description below here. Now, when it comes to diet, it's very important to make sure you're removing sugar, all the processed foods, all the junk foods, and the high carb intake, okay? Because guess who has a lot of problems with high blood pressure? Those who have type 2 diabetes, those who have insulin resistance. We want to make sure that we're cleaning up our diet, focusing on a good whole food diet that's really based in good quality proteins, veggies, and eating low carbohydrates. So That's very important to do with the diet. Of course, if you're smoking, it's time to kick that habit. I know easier said than done, but smoking also contributes in a huge way to people who are suffering from high blood pressure. Like I said, if you're serious about this, it's something that you have to do. A lot of times when I'm working with patients all the time, I know that they will kind of, not necessarily be following my advice, kind of following my advice. Here's the deal. If you want to get the job done and lower your blood pressure naturally, you have to follow this advice. There's no cheating on it. Okay. Next on our list here is talking about exercise. Okay. Exercising on a daily basis is a great way to start lowering your blood pressure. Research shows time and time again that making exercise habitual, doing it on a daily basis is very, very good at lowering your blood pressure. Many people who have high blood pressure issues will find that after going for a jog, a run, doing some weightlifting, it will decrease their blood pressure for a period of time and it'll help stabilize it. So exercising is something that's important. Sleep is critical. I mean, sleep is really one of those foundational pillars to all health. If you're not getting good sleep at night, it's something that you have to focus on mastering. There's no doubt about it. In fact, when I was suffering from some high blood pressure issues, sleep was a major issue for me. And I was laying in bed for 8 hours a night. I was thinking to myself, I'm getting great sleep. I'm in bed all this time. Truth is that with young kids and stress and everything else, I wasn't sleeping at all. I was topping out at about 4 hours of sleep at night, not getting into a deep sleep cycle. It was a mess. And as a result, amongst many other things, it was causing my blood pressure to go high. So sleep is a big deal. As I mentioned in other videos, if you are not doing so, it's probably a good time to start tracking your sleep, using different sleep trackers out there in order to identify the quality of sleep, not necessarily the quantity of sleep, but the quality of sleep that you're having on a daily basis. Now let's talk about relaxation, okay? Because stress is a major contributor to those who are suffering from high blood pressure. If you want to reverse high blood pressure, you have to be able to manage stress. This is something that I struggle with from time to time, don't we all? But relaxation is something that we need to implement into our life if we want to reverse this issue here. Now, one of the things that I recommend for those who are suffering from a lot of stress, first of all, avoid the stressful situations at all costs. Of course, like I said about smoking, easier said than done. But in the same hand, if we're serious about our health, we have to start taking, this very seriously. Whether it's an interaction, particular people, or, a particular scenario that you come across on a daily basis, whatever it is that's causing the stress, you have to work on fixing that particular problem. Another thing that you can do is some different breathing exercises. Okay, meditation along with breathing exercises are going to be great. There's something that you can do, a type of breathing called box breathing. Okay, this box breathing is pretty simple. You basically breathe in over a 4-second period, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, breathe out over a 4-second period, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then repeat. Okay, you just keep repeating that cycle. Do it for about 10 minutes at a time. You can do it 3 times a day and even move up to like 20 minutes if that's something that you need. Meditate during this time. Really try to focus in on your overall health and what's really important for you, but also try to really just forget about those things that are stressing you out. Try to dump that stress because it's a huge thing. If you want to reverse high blood pressure, you have to make sure that your stress isn't a factor for you. And here's the deal too, is that for every single person, it's something different. For some people, it's enormous amounts of stress. For some people, it's bad sleep. For some people, it's nutritional problems. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Nutritional problems can also be you have a really bad diet. It's a little bit different for everybody. And some people genetically just have a family history of having high blood pressure, like I do. And so it's something that everybody deals with in a different way. But the truth is that we have to make sure that we just do everything we can to reverse this problem naturally. Because once you go the medication route, like I said, we all know how that ends. Well, it doesn't end. You just end up on the medication forever. And then, of course, that has other negative side effects to your overall cardiovascular health. Now, time is something that we have to understand here because your high blood pressure didn't come on overnight and it isn't going to go away overnight. You can implement all this stuff and it can still take multiple weeks to months to actually reverse the problem. It can be reversed, but it can take a while. And so we have to be aware of that. I have some people who will go and they'll try one of these methods or they'll implement a couple things and they'll give it a week or two and it didn't work. And so they get frustrated and want to quit. But the truth is that it can take time and you have to be willing willing to give it that time, be willing to put in that hard effort. Anybody I've ever worked with in helping them reverse high blood pressure, it can be a challenge, and it can be something that you have to be in for the long term in order to reverse this problem. And every person is different. Some of them are very challenging. Sometimes it's very challenging to get your blood pressure to reverse, and other times you can do it fairly quick. Everybody's different. Understand that. And if you understand that little concept right there, you'll know that when you start on this journey, that it can take a while, and you won't get discouraged when results don't happen overnight. Let's go ahead and talk about some different nutrients you can do, okay? So one of the things I like to utilize clinically is something called grape seed extract, okay? You're gonna get this in like a supplement form, because here's the deal, is we're looking for all the ways to reverse blood pressure naturally, because when we talk about blood pressure, you have to take it seriously. It can lead to severe kidney problems, it can lead to stroke, heart attack, neurological problems like dementia, brain issues, and it also can lead to just overall decline in your cardiovascular health, okay? So we have to make sure that we're taking it seriously. This is no joke. And so when I personally dealt with high blood pressure, I threw everything at it. I threw everything I had at it because I didn't want to do the medication. And so here's some of the things I was doing. Now, grapeseed extract has been shown in the research to not only decrease systolic but also diastolic blood pressure, okay? And it has been shown to significantly reduce this, which is really awesome. So we want to take this seriously. Grapeseed extract is one of those things that you don't often hear about, but it also is very powerful, and the research actually proves it, okay? This isn't something that is, you know, a maybe. It is actually proven in the research. Next is olive leaf extract. These are two of my favorites right here. That's why they're starred. Olive leaf extract, they did this one study. They took 27 patients. What they found is those who were on the olive leaf extract had significantly lower blood pressure than those who were not on it, the placebo group. And so once again, this olive leaf extract here has been shown to work very well. They're using between about 150 and 300 milligrams on the individuals who are taking this olive leaf extract, okay? Now here's some other things. Like I said, those are two of my favorites. Here's some other things to take into consideration. Magnesium is very good. Magnesium is kind of the great calmer, that mineral that helps calm your nervous system, that helps calm your musculoskeletal health, everything, okay? So magnesium is really great. It is very calming for the nerves, which in turn is going to help lower your blood pressure. So utilizing magnesium, taking Epsom salt baths, these are all great ways in order to go in and lower your blood pressure. CoQ10 is also powerful. In general, CoQ10 is powerful for your heart health, okay? So if you're someone who's just looking to increase your heart health in all ways, CoQ10 is definitely on the top of your list. And if you're someone who's on some sort of heart medication, CoQ10 also should be on the top of your list, considering a lot of these medications actually deplete you of this essential nutrient that is imperative for your heart. And by the way, if you want to learn more about different nutrients that you should take for your heart health, what I'll do is I'll put a link to a video I did right up here. Very powerful stuff. Actually, it's life-saving because many people suffer from heart issues. I'll also put it in the description below. So CoQ10, fish oil is another big one, and then garlic. A lot of research out there on garlic helping to lower blood pressure. I mean, typically, if I'm working with some of these cases, I'll start with these right here and then utilize some magnesium. A lot of times from there, if we're not getting any results, what we'll do is, you know, add everything in. So sometimes we'll do everything in order to try to get results, because getting results is very important. As I mentioned, high blood pressure can cause some serious issues for you if it goes unchecked and you're not able to bring it down. Now, last thing I want to mention is don't cheat, okay? Here's one of the things I've noticed about high blood pressure is you can't cheat it, okay? If you're following a trash diet, if you're not getting good sleep at night, but yet you just want to go and do the supplements because you figure, you know, this stuff right here isn't important, this silly breathing stuff, we don't need to do that. Let's just take the supplements. Let's get out of this whole thing easy. It won't happen. I mean, time and time again, I see people try to cheat the system. It doesn't work. You really have to throw everything in. And a lot of times, you know, the exercise, the relaxation, the proper sleep, the diet, those are going to be at your core, okay? Those are your core things you have to focus on. But what I like to do is after we focus on the core stuff, we go in and move into this, because it is so imperative that we bring that blood pressure down successfully. Otherwise, you're going to have to use medication, okay? I'm not saying that the medication is the worst thing in the world and you shouldn't ever do it. By all means, if you can't get your blood pressure down, you have to take it seriously. I know some people who have done all the natural things genetically, their family all has high blood pressure issues. They were not able to bring it down, so they utilized some of this here with a blood pressure medication. But I will tell you, I have seen a lot of success with utilizing this information right here in order to bring your blood pressure down. I personally have dealt with high blood pressure. Same thing, a family thing, but here's the deal. My big issues were around sleep, and my big issues were also around stress, okay? Sleep and stress were my big issues. One of the ways that I noticed I started having high blood pressure is I started getting a lot of tension in the back of my neck, and I was also feeling a lot of tension right up here in my temples. And so as a result, I just had this pressure build up, and I was like, what is going on? And then, it kind of dawned on me, yeah, this is probably a sign of high blood pressure. Check my blood pressure, it was high. So I started doing all this stuff. But like I said, these were the two biggest factors for me: sleep, relaxation, okay? I've worked with a lot of patients where it's more of a dietary issue. It's like they got type 2 diabetes, they got all kinds of stuff going on. They're doing this stuff right here, drinking 5 cups of coffee a day. You start reversing some of those issues right there. And as a result, the blood pressure goes down. So there's so many different ways that you can look at this. And for everybody, it's different. Like I mentioned from the very beginning of the video. So identify which areas you need to work on, utilize some of the nutritional supplementation. I'll put some links in the description below to some different ones that we use, especially these ones are a little bit harder to find. There's different trademark products out there that seem to work better than others we found. I'll put all that in the description below. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let me know in the comment section your experience with high blood pressure. Have you used any of this? Did it work? What happened? Let me know. And then check out this video over here if you want to improve your health even further. It also has the enzymes which are going to be great for your overall digestion, gut health, and which in turn is going to help support your immune system health, because 80% of your immune system is located in your gut, and therefore apple cider vinegar benefits that